Macron. France owes debt to Polynesians over nuclear tests.
Here's a summary of the article.
Pépite, French Polynesia. French President Emmanuel Macron has reasserted his nation's presence in the Pacific on a visit to French Polynesia, a trip aimed at countering growing Chinese dominance in the region. Macron stopped short of apologizing Tuesday, but acknowledged France's debt to Polynesians over the underground and atmospheric tests, which ran from 1966 to 1996. Macron said Polynesians touched him to the heart, and that France's communities in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean have an essential role to play in its geopolitical strategy. Macron described France's incredible luck to have lands in the Pacific, where everything is being written today. Macron promised to lift the shadows that hover over France's nuclear history. He defended Charles de Gaulle's decision to make France a nuclear power as important, visionary, courageous, and said the country's nuclear arsenal is more important than ever today, in the face of dangerous nations. "We can absolutely not say that we're clean," admitted Macron, saying France has a debt to French Polynesia.
This post received a score of 1800, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than Macron promised money for cyclone shelters to help the island territory cope with climate change, and more help in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic in a region where most islands have no airport, and reaching emergency medical services can take hours or even days.
Good thing he called it debt, because reparations gets people's knickers in a twist for some reason.
French Polynesia is unsurprisingly also a territory of France. Can't exactly pay reparations to yourself.
If the United States paid reparations to the Native Americans, they would essentially be paying reparations to themselves?
I'm deaf. No expert, but aren't Native American lands considered their own nations within the US somehow? Would make it a bit different, no?
Kind of. They have their own sovereign rights. And can enact their own laws. The US has to negotiate with them for right-of-ways. Some are much more independent than others. Some will have their own school systems. Others will incorporate with local school districts. However, when they try to act completely independent and do things like issue their own passports, the US will not honor them. On a side note, when we had the shutdown last year, most of the tribes around me shut down completely. No visitors or outsiders allowed.
France conducted 210 nuclear weapons tests in Algeria and French Polynesia from 1960 to 1996.
Meanwhile in America, tough luck, you're on your own.
This morning I pulled on an old t-shirt. No French fries in Mururoa. French tests, the world detests. Interesting to see this pop up in my Reddit feed later.
Les elections siest por bientôt smiley face.
Don't forget the 21 billion you made Haiti pay for having the gall to not want to be slaves anymore.
They need to pay Haiti back.
What about Algeria?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.